People call themselves the best wrestler in the world. That's the basic bitch shit. I am much more than that. Well, Jon Moxley, the important thing is you believe it. Even though you are categorically incorrect and so monumentally delusional that a team of scientists the world over would have to come to one location and study you for the next 5 fucking years to figure out what the fuck you're actually on about. How could one man be so goddamn delusional, have his head so goddamn up in the clouds that he thinks that he is much more than the best wrestler in the world, when he's not even the best goddamn wrestler in his own lame-ass faction? But the important thing is Jon Moxley believes it. I'm John Wright with my review of AEW Dynamite 300. This is more wrestling! Okay, it's not exactly the best 300 reference. What do you want from me? It's very early Thursday morning because I work every Wednesday night and I have to watch this show on delay. Okay, anybody that gets that reference from what MST3K episode? Oh, please just mention in the comments. So yes, Dynamite 300. Congratulations. Round of applause for making it to 300 episodes. In all seriousness, I'm shocked they did. I'm glad they did. And I'm glad they're going to continue to produce more television. Even if I have my issues with AEW's booking, I have way more issues with WWE, to the point I don't even review WWE weekly anymore. But then you will get shows like this that actually had a decently hot crowd, even if the arena was only half full. At least the crowd that was there made enough noise, and they're building towards All In, and there were things I liked on this show, but once again, just some issues, some things that could have been avoided. So yeah, Toyota Arena, Ontario, California. The crowd was fired up. And we're hanging high early because we got Hangman Adam Page here. He is motivated. He is down to the ring. And the crowd loves him. They have done the best they can to, despite Tony Khan not quite understanding how to gel things together. And there are certain things I didn't like about that feud with Swerve, but they've done some good stuff with Hangman. They've done some things right because the fans are into what he is saying and what he is doing and what he is projecting. He says he won't waste their time, but then this segment kind of wasted some time. And I understand what they were trying to do, and there were things I like, but also it involves people I don't like. And that he will walk through death for this, that he vows to win the title at All In. And I'm going to say right now, I will do my predictions when I think about it a little bit more, but I don't think he's winning. He damn well better win, though, with the way they're building this. If he does not win it here, then they are going to torpedo a lot of people's momentum. Because it ain't just about Hangman. It is going to torpedo a lot of momentum that they have built. And he knows what's coming. He knows that everybody's going to be coming at him gross. The Elite and the Death Riders. So give it all to me. Give it all. It's going to be a human centipede of run-ins. You're welcome. It's going to be a Texas death match. That's what Hangman wants. And then Moxley and Shafir make their entrance, for what that's worth, i.e. nothing. And Moxley said the quotes that I opened the show with. Yeah, the important thing is Jon Moxley believes it. Jon Moxley is a fucking idiot, by the way. I'm just going to say he's not the worst wrestler they've had over the last 5 years, but he is the worst aspect, not named Chris Jericho, that they have had on their program for the last year plus. So, and I don't really care if you try to argue it in the comments. Please look at this Death Rider stuff. Look at all this, especially since he turned heel, which was around All Out or just All Out or at Grant's? I think it was All Out. The whole point is we're coming up on about a year of this bullshit, and it's not the NWO. It's not even the Main Event Mafia. It's barely the World Elite, for God's sakes. How's that for a deep cut that probably nobody gets? Who is in the World Elite? Let me know in the comments. So he then does more talking about how you're not prepared for this. You're not prepared to go to the depths of the earth or whatever. Can we send Moxley to the depths of hell till he realizes that he is not God's gift to wrestling? He has made this thing worse. He has made this product worse with this bullshit. Wheeler Yuta then shows us, speaking of bullshit, and Shafir, who, she cannot fucking work. She cannot fucking bump. More on that in a minute. She slaps him. She quite frankly needs to have some of the women just come around and slap some sense into her, because honestly, she is not meant to be a wrestler on a big stage. She slaps Hangman a few times, and then Claudio shows up. Another bald man in a white t-shirt. That's just what we need. And then Hangman's like, hey, I'm still standing. Claudio, why don't we have a match? And I think they're going to have it on Collision or next week. I kind of zoned out on a little bit of this, even though the crowd was fired up, because, again, it involves this Death Rider stuff. It's just stupid. Here's Joe, and then here's Yuta, who's on the other side of the barricade where he fucking belongs. Just stay over there. Stay over there, you goddamn useless piece of shit. You mop-top moron. You fucking imbecile. You dipshit. You don't belong in a major professional wrestling company in a main event capacity. He belongs being beat up, like, on Crockett's TV or on Mid-South TV. He does not belong in this big spot. Every faction needs a stooge. They don't need a goddamn toothpick with stupid hair and a mope face. But anyway, Yuta shows up again, and then Shafir tries to attack Hangman, but she can't even do that right, because she's a stupid bitch. And then Hangman got the briefcase, and was like, hey, Mox, give me what I want. Mox agrees to it. And then Hangman says, so you don't think I have what it takes, huh? Well, I'm going to remind you I have what it takes. And he hits a buckshot on Shafir, who could have... Roddy needs to sit his stupid wife down and say, honey, you can't do this. You can do this on the indies, but you are not good enough for this. You are not good enough for a big stage. We still don't know who the fuck she is because of that promo, which will haunt her forever. Go home. Just go home and either raise kids or go and be on the indies. You can't do this. You dumb broad. God. I'm sorry, there were good things in this, but god damn it. I don't like getting that fired up about wrestling because I've been watching for 40 fucking years. But Jesus Christ. Take the damn bumper, just get yourself the fuck out of wrestling. Idiot. Speaking of which, Moxley then, is all snarling and freaking out and everything. Toni Storm then is there with Rachel Brosnahan, who plays Lois Lane. I probably got that name totally wrong. I'm going to be reviewing Superman around this time next week. I'm very thrilled about that. It better be good. But she plays Lois Lane, and she seemed into it, and actually was kind of cracking up at the end. But you know what? This is good cross-promotion, and they had LED banners with Superman. Great. That's great stuff. Toni Storm comes out for commentary. She's got a spread in front of her, including her cake out there for the world to see. Shirakawa's dancing fits her gimmick. You know whose dancing doesn't fit her gimmick? Mercedes. If you're gonna dance like that, go to Vegas. Otherwise, try to be a professional fucking wrestler. She thinks she's hot shit, and often her promos are just the latter word. Mercedes versus Mina Shirakawa, TBS Championship. I knew what was going to happen. I'm sick of Mercedes. I'm not saying there wasn't good work here. Mercedes can work. She just shouldn't talk until she wants to talk like an actual human. If she wants to talk like a faulty AI program, the type that she's using, a parent text scam. So her fans can talk to her for $99 a month. You can't need money that goddamn badly, you stupid bitch, that you think that scamming your fans like that is cool. That being said, Mina, look, she can work decently. She's not spectacular, but she can do a few spectacular things. Mercedes does a lot of great stuff. Does the Meteora, did the Meteora outside, inside, from the top of the goddamn arena, for some reason. Now, she didn't do that last part, but she was doing a lot of Meteoras in this. Figure four spot, they roll to the floor, Meteora on the floor. At least when Shirakawa throws a strike, yes, the forearm stuff is overdone. At least it looks like she's doing it. Mercedes, just because you weigh about 80 pounds doesn't mean you can't try to do something. Anyway, there was a couple strikes. Mercedes got in the back and then got in the back of the head with a kick, which looked kind of painful. There was also a nice sling blade a little bit before that. We got the... I don't know what driver they call it. They call it something, but I try to tune Excalibur out. 1-2, kick out. And then Mina no-sell something. Mercedes kicks out at 1. And then we get a lung blower, and we get a roll-up after all that, 1, 2, 3. So after a bunch of moves that should have ended the match, we get a roll-up. Tony then gets laid out with the belt when she gets in the ring, and then Mercedes licks her cake. That's not a euphemism, she really did that. And then they did a Bucks pre-tape. I mean, seriously, you want me to pay attention to anything the Bucks are going to say? Unless they're saying we're lousy wrestlers and we should have never been given EVP positions. They won't say that because they think they're hot shit. Again, they're only shit. There you are. MJF comes out with the Hurt Syndicate. Brody King, by the way, had to wear this. Yes, got this from Redbubble. Had to probably make a donation to the people fighting this bullshit, by the way. It's not about fighting authority. It's about fighting bullshit. There are real problems in this country, such as the criminal pieces of shit that are trying to do bad shit, more bad shit, in the goddamn White House and the House and the Senate, and the stinky piece of goddamn orange moldy shit that you guys voted back into the White House, or at least some people did. And I have no problem saying that, because you're all dumb motherfuckers if you did. And I'm going to wear this, and I'm going to wear this proudly, and if this bothers people, I'm not going to wear it on their review, but if that bothers people, I don't care. We need to focus on the actual issues in this country, not a hate group, and that's what ICE is. And if you disagree, I don't care. I won't talk to certain family members of mine. And as much as I love my viewers, and I'll agree, disagree with people, and I got no problem having discourse, if I won't talk to some members of my family, the fuck makes you think that you're going to get through to me? So, let's get back to this four-way match. So, Brody King and MJF are there. We have AR Fox, as well as Anthony Bowens, who, I don't really think Anthony Bowens is ever going to... I think that they missed the bow wins with him. They missed the boat. There's just something, I don't know. Four-way match for the number 2 spot in the men's casino battle royal at All In, because they're going to have a men's battle royal, a women's battle royal, whatever. I'm sick of four ways, but there's one thing that got over with me. It was Brody King basically laying people out. And MJF tried to pay him off, and then, Brody threw the money down. The money was still in the ring for minutes on end, and it was real money, or at least a majority of it was, based on the shots that they had of the money that fell on the ground. MJF joins commentary. MVP even joins in on that, and it was pretty cool. MJF mocks Excalibur, which everybody should do as far as his commentary. I don't think Excalibur is a bad person. I think Excalibur is bad at commentary. And I gave him a lot of slack. I just can't do it anymore. We get a chair being used because it's no DQ in a four-way. This match needed more people landing on their heads, because AR Fox in particular, I swear, if it wasn't for the fact that by the luck of fools, he should have gotten several head injuries. He probably should have had his head turned around backwards. I'm not saying that should have happened, but with how he was landing. And then we get 3 cannonballs, but MJF dodges the last one. And then a triple cannonball in the corner. And then 1 cutter, 2 cutter, 3 cutters, but only a 2 count. And MJF gets hung up in a sleeper. We get a few more moves. AR Fox barely breaks up a 2 count, or a 3 count. And then gets the Salt of the Earth locked on him while Brody had hit the Gonzo Bomb on Bowens. And there we go. That's the tap out right there. So there we are. Mark Briscoe then has the little pickle, the kosher pickle shirt. And please do not try to make this a thing. Like, it was sort of amusing that went way, way too far. It didn't even go too far. It's like, okay, now we're just trying too hard. And next week it's going to be a face-to-face, a talkie talk, and they're chanting talkie talk, because Ontario, California doesn't apparently have anything going on. Oh, here's Jet Speed to attack the champs, and then they get laid out repeatedly. Stay down, you morons, is what I wrote down. And I almost said LA Knight. Kevin Knight decided to keep calling him out. They kept getting laid out. It was like 2 times or whatever. And then they stopped him. And then MJF and MVP stopped him. And Knight challenged Shelton for a match on Collision. Which they taped, by the way, right after this. The Collision 100 is taped because of the holiday. That makes sense. Gave people the 4th of July off. All right. Now we get Takeshita and the Bucks versus O'Reilly, Strong, and Bandito with referee Rick Knox, so you can't take it seriously. Because referee Rick Knox, I don't care if he's nice. He's about 5 million years old and he's a terrible referee. I said I will give this a chance. Can the Bucks be serious? No, the answer is they can't be. They weren't as egregious as they were in previous matches. And yes, people were into this. The thing is, it was just moves. It was just stuff happening with no psychology. So it was a typical Bucks match. O'Reilly's totally, the cause is lost there. Same as Strong. Bandito, I think, banged his head a couple times. Hopefully he's all right. Takeshita is somebody they really need to utilize. And I mean be the world champion by the end of the year. And I fear he won't be. The crowd was very into this, though. I cannot deny it. The crowd was into this. We get a driver, a kick, a German, broken up, and then Bandito banged his head. Hopefully he's all right. Raging Fire pinned O'Reilly. It was not a terrible match, but it was also just a match you've seen done time and time again. Here's Swerve and Will. They want their answer, and basically the Bucks are like, well, what's in it for us? What's in it for you is maybe you'll be in the ring with two wrestlers that actually could show you something. Because the Bucks have never known how to wrestle. There's been like 5 Bucks matches I can actually, recall that I have enjoyed. And I don't think any of them ever happened in New Japan. At least none that come to mind. Well, I mean, there was Strong Style Evolved in 2018. But that was a U.S. New Japan show. That was against Kenny and Kota Ibushi. And I'll even throw the one again versus Kenny and Hangman at Revolution 2020. So basically, are these the Young Bucks or the Young... And how about this? Your EVP status is gone if you lose. We lose, and he says to Swerve, trust me, bro, we can't challenge for the title or the world title for a year. Swerve doesn't appear happy. I wouldn't be either if somebody basically just said, yeah, we're going to undercut your career just for a chance here. Like, you could have consulted me. And then we joined the match in progress that they had against the Meat Mortos and Dralistico. And a Styles Clash and a House Call won the match in about 8 minutes. They pinned Dralistico, at least there's that. But the Meat Mortos, he's impressive as far as his size and the agility and everything. And good on him for dating Mercedes. And I do hope that they're both happy. And I hope that they have a kid that the kid gets his hair. Because if he gets her hair, then that kid's just going to be able to pop the hair off like a goddamn doll. But Meep is always losing. Okada and Ibushi had the main event slot. Can they turn back the clock? Kinda, yeah. I mean, they did. There were holy shit chances the bell rang, and then there was shit on commentary in the form of Don Callis, who I would buy more seriously if, well, he wasn't a creep. There's a reason, or several reasons, why he had to leave Impact. And he's just generally like a scuzzy person. I'm fairly certain there were people in the crowd at the Tacoma Dome and at the previous year's Wrestle Dream. They could have beaten the shit out of Callis. Former manager or former wrestler or not, he ain't tough. He definitely ain't tough because he likes to pick on women, allegedly, of course. But I will say this: Okada stepped it up here, and Ibushi was motivated. The elbow fall, more or less than the elbow drop. And the Rainmaker pose, nope. Ibushi then no sells. He, does a couple kicks. We get a German where Ibushi lands on his head. The Rainmaker keeps getting dodged. A double underhook bomb off the top. 1-2 kick out. And then Ibushi gets hit with a lariat while arguing with the ref while being in the ropes. And then a dropkick, Rainmaker. 1, 2, 3. They did what they needed to do. It was a fine main event. It wasn't going to be as good as they did in New Japan. Partly because they're both more injured than they were at the time that they last fought. And also, they aren't going to be as motivated to put on that as they were in Japan. They're getting paid a whole lot more money. And there's a bigger investment, so they probably wanted to just say, let's give them a taste, but do more later on. And then the Don Callis family does a beatdown. Omega shows up, Big Pop, and the Golden Shower lovers are reunited. Oh, and here's Trent to get dropped on his head like a Nimrod, because he is a Nimrod. He buys into a whole lot of stuff, and a whole lot of right-wing bullshit, so he is an idiot. So yeah, that review was a bit longer than I thought, but I had to rant about a few things and praise a few things. What did you think of Dynamite? Let me know in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Rentland. Until we meet again, happy trails to you.